Well, good morning and welcome to Adventures in Awakening from Blackstone, Virginia, the center of the world. But then you too are at the center of the world. It's a foggy morning. It's very quiet. Seems like everyone's sleeping. Even on Facebook, everyone is sleeping, not awake yet. And here I am pumped up and ready to go. So I had we're going to get into Avatar. When I first saw Avatar, it was opening a can of wonder. That's what the movie is. A can of wonder. Oh, you see Pandora for the first time. The flying mountains. Oh, wonder. Wonder, wonder. You can't enter the kingdom of heaven unless you have the eye of wonder of a little child. You see. So Pandora was like, Avatar, through the technology that we hadn't seen before, it's like a can of wonder. You see. But it was more than that. You know, Joseph Campbell taught me that now that all the myths are dead in our flat rational world of scientific empirical knowledge, all the myths are dead, you see. We've wiped them all out. No more fantasy, no more wishful thinking, no more gods and dragons, and all dead, all gone. Happy, yay, yay, yay. Now we will know everything through science, you see. Everything. Just get a bigger computer and we'll know everything. No more mystery, no more wonder. You'll know everything. No more Pandora. And so now movies are our myths. You have to have a can opener. You know, you have to have some can opener that can open up the kingdom of heaven, that can open up wonder, that can open up your seeing the world for the first time and be back where you started. That was we shall continue to explore, but at the end of exploring, we'll see where T.S. Eliot poem. I should have wrote it down. We'll see the world for the first time. Wait a minute. Oh, here I got it right here. We shall not cease from exploration, and at the end of all of our exploring, we will be to arrive where we started, and know the place for the first time. So Pandora, Avatar was like that, except it was through a myth darkly or lightly. In other words, the metaphor, movies are metaphors and myths. They're myths, you see. And they're modern myths. Since all the old myths are gone, we have to create new ones. We have to create new can openers to open up the can of wonder and make our world fresh like Pandora and see it for the first time. See your hometown for the first time. See your family for the first time. See yourself for the first time. So Pandora is, as a myth, it's like a Zen cone. Now, Zen cones, I've been working with them now for a couple of years through the help of Albert Lowe in his books and talks. But you have to inhabit a Zen cone and look at it from all different sides. You don't come to a conclusion, oh, I know what it is. What's next? Give me another one. I figured that one out. It's not a crossword puzzle. You know, it's not to be figured out. The movie is not to be figured out. The movie is to be inhabited. Movies have to be inhabited, and you have to see everyone from different, like if you are go to transactional therapist or go to therapy, and maybe the therapist you're in a conflict with somebody, and the therapist will have you act out both sides. All right, now you be the other person. You be your wife. Now you be the husband. Now you look at the other from each side. So you switch back and forth, you see. You switch back and forth until you get a aha. Suddenly, you switch back and forth because suddenly you see both sides as one instead of two. I'm right, you're wrong. It's right, wrong, wrong, right. But to do that, you have to make a mad leap outside of it. You have to make a mad act, a mad jump, a mad act of faith to suddenly be outside of the yin-yang, the either-or, the I'm right and you're wrong. No, I'm right. No, I'm right. No, I'm right. Wow, 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 wow. Divorce. Or a mass shooter. Suicide. Whatever. But the point is, when you get into the catch-22, I'm right, no, I'm right, yes, no, I'm yes, no, I'm yes, wow, 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 wow. And when you get in a wow, wow, it's going to go wow, 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 till pew. Well, what is the wow, 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 pew? Well, it's either a violent act where you shoot the other guy or block him on Facebook, or you come to a creative idea. I see the whole. I see, instead of the one, instead of the two, yeah, wah, 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 you become that. You see the one, and the one is a greater vision or understanding or viewpoint where the two is one. Now you're the one seeing the two. Before you were, I'm this hand, no, I'm this hand, oh, wah, 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 you see. You're identifying with the right, with one of a polarity. You're identifying with one side of a polarity. But all relationships are one, divided into two. You see? So myths take a contradiction, put it into a catch-22, where both sides are right and both sides are wrong, and moves you towards a boom. I see. You see? Now, but you have to sit in the myth. You have to sit in the catch-22. You can't say, oh, I know what it is. Well, it's as new. Oh, I'm right, but, oh, I'll let you have your opinion. Or, this too will pass. That's another way of avoiding it. Oh, well, I'll just wait it out. I'll be patient. This will pass. That's not sitting in it. So when you go to the movie, any good movie, I mean, there's levels. The movies that are myths usually win Oscars. You can tell the movies that are real myth makers because they win the award. You know, that's the whole point. You know, in the award, the myth that is the Oscar myth, so doesn't have to have an Oscar, but I mean the great movies always have a catch-22 in it. There's a contradiction in it between the characters that they are trying to work out. They're trying to break out of. Now, if you just sit there and watch a movie as entertainment, that's fine. You get entertained. You go on. I saw the movie. I know what it is. What else? Let's go to another movie. But if you leave it open, if you leave it as a mystery, you don't come to any conclusion. Like with Avatar, everybody can, oh, it's about Native Americans. Oh, it's about this or that. It's about this. It's about that. And you get 100 critics saying it's about this. And everybody argues and has levels and tries to convince. You're back in catch-22. I know what it is. No, I know what it is. No, I know what it is. No, wow. Who wants to be the last critic standing, you see? That's just catch-22. Yes is no, no is yes, whatever. You sit in it. You don't make any, you don't come to any, you leave the eyes open. You see, you become the movie. You become Jake Sully. You become the Navi. You become Pandora. You become the scientist. You become all the characters. You become the colonel. You inhabit it. A lot of people go to extremes, you know. I mean, there's Avatar cults and there's Star Trek cults where they have Star Trek conventions and everybody dresses up as a character. You know, I'm not saying that. You know, that was what Big Bang was about. These people inhabited, the Big Bangers inhabited their fantasy. And they acted it out as real world. Well, that's metaphorical truth. You have to inhabit, using Avatar as an example, you have to inhabit the movie. But you don't have to get dressed up in a blue uniform and go to a cult, a movie cult, you see. That is not the catch-22. That's trying to get out of the catch-22 by identifying with it. But no, you can't do that. You leave it open. That's closing it. You leave it open, you see. So anyway, you see, I'm playing around with this. So you keep Pandora open. You keep the wonder open. You don't close it with some, well, now I know what it is. So you keep the wonder open, and then the movie keeps revealing itself to you because it's revealing you to you. See, the whole point about Jake Sully was that he went to Pandora and discovered fresh eyes and a fresh body, a new way of knowing, a new world, new names, a new way of being, you see. And that was sharply contrasted with the Sky People way of knowing Pandora, which is the way we know the world. We are the Sky People. Everything's an it. Everything is useful. If it has no use, cut it down. It's just an it, you see. But it's useful to me. So you had these two viewpoints there, the Navi, but it was like objective and subjective. But that's not it. Because even Jake Sully was trapped in the catch-22. At some point, he admitted, I'm in this no man's land. I don't know whether the Sky People is real or the Navi is real. I don't know which world is real. Catch-22. I'm in between. I'm falling. That's the experience of catch-22 is falling. Anxiety. I'm slipping into a vortex where nothing is solid. I don't know what to do. Everything I thought was true is not true. Everything I clung, all the people, my friends, the philosophers, the teachers, I can't cling to them. They're all falling. They're all falling with me. We're all going down a rabbit hole with Alice. Everything is falling with me. Nothing to hold on to. Madmen falling, the opening logo, falling from the tower. Wow, falling into the vortex. That's catch-22. It's an opening. It's a hole. You go through it and you fall. What saves you? A mad act. So even in Avatar, Jake Sully says, and he's explaining this to you, as on his video, report, you see. We forget that he's reporting the story. When he goes at the end, he turns off the video and says, I'm going to a birthday party. Right. So, but the point is, he tells you what he did. He did a mad act. He jumped on the last shadow. Now, the last shadow is a metaphor for death. The Navi said it's the last shadow because it's the last shadow you see. If you see that shadow, you're dead. So he jumped on it. That's madness. It's madness, you see. So, but he got out of the catch-22. And now he wasn't jumping on death, he was riding death. He was riding the dragon. Whew, you see. And then he resolved the conflict, but yet the catch-22 continued for Jake Sully. Now the catch-22, the question is, which body am I? I got the human body, I got the Navi body. Which one am I? Am I this? Am I that? You see? So in order to transcend this catch-22, see, we don't get out of a catch-22, we transcend it by going into it. So we went into this, and the two bodies were melded or grafted, and he had no idea what was going to happen. Who was he going to be? This or that? And so the movie ends with him sitting up, and he says, I see you. Now, see, you see the switch? Suddenly, you are Jake Sully. and Jake Sully is you. Of course, I wrote on when I was writing on this, said I quoted Hakun, the Zen master. From the beginning, all beings are Buddha. Now, if you think Jake Sully was Buddha, then you missed the portal. You've closed the movie and says, oh, Jake Sully's Buddha. What else is new? You just missed the last shadow. You see? So the mad act of Avatar is not to know what it means, not to conclude it, not to close the door and say, aha, I've analyzed the movie, I know what it all means, I'm an expert now. What else is new, you see? You miss it. The mad act is not to know the answer to the question. You keep the question open. You keep the curiosity open. You are always in discovery mode, not in I know it mode. See, I know it. That ends. We got to get out of the catch-22. So what we do is we say, well, I figured it out. I know it. Well, that ends the catch-22, doesn't it? That ends the anxiety of not knowing. That ends the tension. Oh, well, I know. So knowing something is the way we end the tension of catch-22, or the yes is no, no is yes, you see. But Zen, but the can of wonder is when you don't come to a conclusion and know what it means. You don't know what it means, so you keep it open, and every time you go to it, it gives you something new. It gives you a new discovery. But what you're discovering is you. You see? When you don't know what the movie means, but you leave it open, but you don't leave it and say, oh, I can't figure it out, I'll forget it. You don't do that. And you don't go into it and say, well, I know what it is, I figured it out, this is my analysis is this, and I try to convince everybody that I know, you see. So what we're doing here is suspending knowing, yet not leaving. You sit in it. You sit in it, you see. And it keeps revealing itself. Well, it's not something that's revealing itself. It's when you sit in it, you are what you're sitting in. It's not like you're outside of it. You are the movie, and the movie is you. And yet, you're not. That right there is a catch-22. If you are the movie, then you're going to probably run around in a blue suit and pretend and go to an Avatar convention. Or really believe you're Jake Sully, like a lot of the jokes about Napoleon, the people that believe they're Napoleon. And you go to an insane asylum and there are two Napoleons there, and they go to war with each other because there can only be one Napoleon. Or Jesus, or whatever, you see. So it's not that. It's not identifying with it, but it's not identifying with it. That's the mystery, you see. That's the catch-22. I am the movie, I'm not the movie. What am I? I don't know. You see? So that really is what Zen is all about. Shikantaza means you're sitting in the catch-22. You sit in the contradiction. What should I do? Should I do this? Should I do that? Oh, would you tell me what to do? Help. You say, the Bible will tell me what to do. Whatever. No. You sit in not knowing what to do, but you don't leave it. So then you penetrate it. So you have to penetrate the movie. You penetrate not knowing by sitting in it and not trying to come to some conclusion, which is either leaving it and forgetting about it or saying you know what it is. Either way, you've ended, you've concluded, and gotten out of the anxiety of the catch-22. So sit in the anxiety, you see. What is anxiety? It's just a feeling. It doesn't mean that you don't know what to do. It doesn't mean that you're dying. It doesn't mean that the end of the world is. It's just a sensation of, it's the sensation that you're in a catch-22. So you stay with it. It's okay, you know. And when you do that, the energy builds, and boom, you break out. You're riding the last shadow, you see. Anyway, thanks for dropping in. Hope this wasn't too confusing. Anyway,